Another question here, and this is sort of leading on, we'll go to this one here, sort of leading on from the half-back debate. North are stacked in that half-back position.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the names here.
Yeah.
And maybe who we'd start and just talk about what we expect for them for the next year, because North Melbourne have a gluttony off half-back and a lot of players that play similar roles while being different players. So these are the names I could see going off half-back next year. Obviously, Caleb Daniel is the obvious one. McKercher, I think he'll move in the midfield more, but, you know, he's played half-back, and if he went back there, we wouldn't be shocked.
Yep.
McDonald, Fisher, Hardiman, Goda, Bergman. Finn O'Sullivan is a potential because we've seen a lot of first-year recruits come in and play off half-back, and Tom Powell played a bit off half-back.
Probably add Darcy Tucker in there as well.
You can put Darcy Tucker in there for sure. Yep, absolutely.
I don't think that McKercher or Finn O'Sullivan will... I think Finn O'Sullivan will go into the midfield.
Interesting, because where do you think... I mean, I think he'll start on the... Look, so whoever starts isn't really... a big deal like it is in basketball. But, you know, I think Finn O'Sullivan comes off the bench and sort of rotates with people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he might get a little bit of time down there, but I don't see how he will. But I'm just going off the trend of Shees on what sort of player it's made him. And, you know,
it's a great education piece.
Yeah, but like, look at McKercher, and we talked about this on the pod, like McKercher's season being so underrated and how good he was off half back.
Yeah.
You almost have to put him there, don't you? Just to make sure he gets because how many times have we seen players, even for other teams, come into the midfield too early and just not get around the ball?
Well, it's turned into the Clarko blueprint, hasn't it? Especially for a weaker side, it really is the best way for him to get his hands on the ball. I don't know. I always pictured Finn O'Sullivan coming straight into the midfield, to be honest. I don't know why either, because obviously with McKercher and Sheezel, like we've seen what they did, but then Wardlaw never spent really any time
It's true.
Off half-back.
A lot of people have sort of talked to me about Finn O'Sullivan being that Taron Thomas-esque type player.
So then you'd rather him push forward.
Yes, but Taron started in the midfield when he played a couple of years ago and, you know, was a goal kicker because Finn O'Sullivan is a goal-kicking midfielder that plays on the outside. So do you mix it up? But with just... You know, I've got a gut feeling that Sheasel plays a lot of half forward next year and pushes into the midfield. Yeah. And so I sort of feel like our best midfield actually is Simpkin, LDU, Wardlaw, with Sheasel coming off half forward and pushing into that midfield because they're more ball winners and Sheasel's a ball user. So that's maybe just an early gut feel for me.
Maybe you got, I mean, what's his tank like? Maybe he goes to a wing. That's a lot of pressure for a first year player, but you just don't know.
Let's talk about a couple of the young guys then. And do you think these guys can play over? So McDonald and Fisher are the two that are under the most pressure.
Definitely.
Once again, I think a little bit harsh, but the fact is a fact.
Yeah.
Hardiman, Goda, Bergman are probably the young guys that haven't played much football, but are pushing for those halfback spots. I don't really see them playing other positions on the ground. Let's talk about each of them individually. You're massive on Hardiman.
Yeah, I'm really bullish on Hardiman.
Why do you think Hardiman... Would you take Hardiman over Goda?
I think Hardiman could move into that role where we've seen McKercher and Sheasel.
Okay, you think he's more that type?
Because I think he could be.
I always saw Hardiman as a little bit more of a what we want Luke McDonald to be, or that Jack Zeeble type role, where he's a bit of a hard man, can take an intercept and sort of run off half back, but not so much an attacking player.
I think he could be.
Okay. Why are you so high on Hardiman? So he played 3 games, right?
Yeah, I think.
And I thought he was good.
Yeah, I think what he showed was great. I just think that, I mean, have you seen him like since he's come back?
He's put on a lot of size.
Yeah, he's massive.
Put on a lot of size.
And I think we know that he's got, you know, he took him pick like 19 or something. And we took him in the first round last year, and I think that having 12 months in the system, he had a taste of footy. Maybe just become accustomed to it a little bit more. I just think that there is, and maybe I'm buying into hype a little bit, but I do think that what we did see of him, while only it was 3 games this season, I think it was enough to show to me that with a bit more experience and a bit more time, and I'm trying to be more patient. I think we've become accustomed to expecting everything to happen straight away.
For
LD used a great example of that. I was always just so like harsh on LD.
Larky as well.
From the start, Larky didn't touch the ball in his first game, but just expecting him to come in and have an impact straight away. And yes, I've been very lucky with the likes of McKercher and Shees and Wardlaw to a lesser extent, but then Dersma. We know Dersma will be a great player for us, but he just didn't show enough this season. So it's this patience thing for me. Okay. And I think that maybe Hardiman playing maybe a little bit more of a rebounding, attacking defender while in the same side as McDonald to learn a little bit and then potentially pass the baton over maybe in the second half of the year. I mean, I don't know. I would like to see him play more games than not, though. Hardiman.
Okay. Why are you more bullish on Hardiman over Goda?
Body.
Just size?
Goda's made of balsa wood.
He's only really had that one injury though.
No, but then he had a hamstring, and then he was out with the flu or something. Like he hasn't really been able to just string games together. I also really like Josh Goda.
Yeah, because I think Goda's shown more potential. He's obviously had more games and more years at the club, of course, but. I think the fans are definitely the most bullish on Goda. He only played one game, but I mean, his preseason was incredible. He was one of our better ones, and we were all coming out of that preseason saying he's probably a lock for the 23.
Yeah.
Do you think Josh Goda will be fit enough to play in round one if he has a preseason? He's back doing light training, non-contact training, I think.
Yeah.
And then I think they said he's going to be in full training maybe January. I think
there's I saw this thing the other day where the Herald Sun was like North has a massive injury list.
Yeah, let's chill out on that.
We don't. I think
we don't.
all but 2 or 3 players are set to return to full training in January.
Yeah, by January.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a massive overreaction. But hey, clickbait.
We love a clickbait title.
Clickbait titles?
Yeah, maybe.
So Bergman
I wouldn't
then,
rush him back though. It's the same with Braden George, is another one. I wouldn't rush these guys in because we want to get it right.
Bergman then, do you think he's any shout to get a game? Where do you think he gets a game next year if he does play? It's because for me it's probably only injury. I like Miller Bergman. I think he's actually pretty underrated. I
agree.
He's a really good user of the footy as well. A little bit taller, can do that intercepting. He does need to put on some size, but I like him as a player, but I just don't know how he gets in this team.
It's a succession plan for Luke McDonald. I think all 3 of these guys have an opportunity now. I don't want to push Luke McDonald out the door because I love Luke McDonald, but he obviously is heading into the later part of his career, and there's going to be someone that's going to step up to the plate and have to take his spot. And I think that now's the time for them to adapt and to do so.
Powell, do you think he gets some minutes off half back?
Probably rotating through. Wouldn't surprise me, just to help them down there a little bit.
He can sort of play a little bit of everywhere though. If he's on the wing, I'm not unhappy. If he's off, he kicked a few good goals in the back half of the year as well.
Got a massive hoof on him, as we know.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's do a hypothetical before we finish this question. Say you got to pick 3 of these guys. I think it's safe to say Chom, Core, Logue are all playing in that back line, and Archer.
And Archer.
Let's say 3. It's 2 more in the back 6, but there'll be another defender in there somewhere. Say you had to pick 3 of these guys to be in the starting 23. Everyone's fit. Which 3 are you picking? I think Daniel's a lock.
I think Daniel, McDonald, and Hardiman, but I say that because I expect Finn O'Sullivan and McKercher to push up the ground.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
and Powell,
let's exclude O'Sullivan, Powell. And McKercher maybe.
Yeah, so I'd go Daniel, McDonald, and Hardiman.
Okay, interesting. I think I would go Daniel, McDonald, Goda.
Yeah.
But I think Fisher might be in there instead of Goda.
Okay.
I think. That would be mine. I like Hardiman, but I'm maybe not quite as bullish on him as you are. I think he'll be very good, and I think he'll be here one day. He to me is that heir to the throne for Luke McDonald, but Luke McDonald's only 29, 30 years old.
Yeah, he's not even 30.
So
yet.
he's got 3+ years left in him, minimum.
I'm going to throw one more spanner in here. Sorry. I also would not be opposed to them trying Fisher up forward.
I completely agree. I think
that would be...
It's hard because of the depth, like half-back. It's hard for our depth of Dersma, Eddie Ford, Curtis, Zerha,
But I think Fisher
Constanti.
could play smaller, like Crump.
Yeah, but would you rather give the first chance to Fisher or to Constanti or Hansen Jr.?
Fisher. Fisher's a better player than all of them, no disrespect.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, for sure.
So I'd be more than happy to throw him up forward and just see if that helps at all.
Why do you think we didn't see him up there at all?
Probably needed him down back.
The
the injury.
Yeah, just to finish this bit as well, I really think that Fisher got a lot of turnovers, but I think we forget fans really liked him in that middle patch of the season, like that middle third.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always said about him, yes, he turns the ball over a lot. I think that's more a systemic issue than it is him as an individual. But I would rather a player, and Darcy Tucker played every game, and I'm just going to throw him out as an example. It's not meant to be an attack on Darcy Tucker, because I think he'll play a lot of games next year, if I like it or not. But I would rather a player like Fisher, who wants the footy and will get 30 touches and attack it, than a player sometimes like a Tucker or like a McDonald or maybe Zeeble sometimes when he played that role that goes missing in games. I don't think Fisher ever went missing in a game. And I think his intent for the footy is really good. And if we can get a better team around him to kick to support him more, I think he can be a player that we can really utilise because he is that attacking sort of halfback. Yeah. So, look, just a little bit of Fisher positivity there because I think he can be good. I think we write players off too early these days.
No, we like Zach Fisher. He's great.
Yeah.